Hi guys and welcome to the Burton vs Sunderland match review. Now for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I was this close to not doing this video because I'm really ill, guys. So apologies if it's, quite a short and sweet video, but I thought it's going to look like I'm being a bit of a cop-out because it's our first loss of the season and then miraculously, I'm not very well and I don't make a video, which you could probably tell by my voice that I'm not very well. So I'll keep it short and sweet, but just, a few thoughts on the game. Personally, I think that was our worst performance so far this season. Obviously, yeah, we did lose 2-1, and again, we just weren't at it. But the thing that's more frustrating this time is, the last couple of draws that we had, I said, we didn't deserve to win. The opposition were better than us, they were competing with us. And of course, Burton, they were better than us. Personally, I think we could have lost 6 or 7-1. We honestly could have done, easily could have done, if we're going off, clear-cut chances and stuff like that. But Burton, they didn't look great. You know what I mean? They weren't fantastic. I think they look worse than both Fleetwood and on Oxford as well. And yet we're losing the game. But we weren't at it at all. From the off, again, it was weird because for the first sort of minute, we looked alright. We seemed to come out and look relatively bright for the first 30 seconds, and then it just quickly dies down. The buzz just seems to disappear, and then just under 20 minutes, they get themselves a goal. Then they get themselves another goal, yet again through a set piece, which we just can't seem to defend. It's such awful defending from set pieces. It's absolutely shocking. It's just such amateur stuff. Before the ball gets played in from a set piece, everyone seems to be getting the man, and you think, right, okay, that's fine. But then the second the ball is kicked, it's a free-for-all. Anyone could go where they want. No one sticks to the man. And all in all, it's going to end up in a goal. It always is, 9 times out of 10. That will end up in a goal. It's like everyone's just forgot the absolute basics of defending. It was just absolutely horrendous. And we showed no real threat apart from Madja early on in the first half before we did go a goal down, who, I can't give too much criticism to young Madge. He's only still a really young lad, and we've already relied on him a lot so far this season, and he's come good all in all. But he missed his sort of traditional sitter because he pretty much misses. Normally he misses a sitter every game, and then he'll score a more complex, a more a bit more of a screamer. Do you know what I mean? He'll score a cracking goal and he'll miss a sitter. That tends to happen with Madge. But unfortunately in this game, the only real chance he did have was a sitter, and he missed it. He had a pretty clear-cut chance in the box, and he's screwed it wide. But yeah, so that was the first half. But obviously, Wack did go off injured. Now, I was thinking about Wack's performance before we did go off injured, and because we played sort of a 4-4-2, almost, pretty much, although the shape was completely, it was just changing. We were kind of all over the place from the start, really. It looked like it was a sort of 4-4-2. We obviously had our back four. We had Sinclair on the left, Gooch on the right, and Honeyman and Catmull in the middle. And then we obviously had Wyke and Madger up top. Because we were playing that sort of formation, we almost resorted to lump it football and hoof it football. We're perfectly well and good playing it around the back. That's all right. But then occasionally we'll give it into Catmull, who'll drop deep to pick up the ball, but then he'll give it straight back to the defender. And other than that, we had nothing. There was no creativity. We didn't have the midfielders to turn and then try and lead an attack. And when we did, we tried to go down the left-hand side where Sinclair was just battered all over the shot. Their right back was an absolute beast. And then you had Sordell, who was coming to help out as well. So Oviedo and Sinclair were having no luck at all down that side. But I think we only went down the right-hand side once in that first half with Gooch, or twice. And that looked a lot more dangerous, so it was confusing me as to why we were so insistent in going down that left-hand side, because Sinclair was woeful. He didn't have a chance against that right back, and neither did Oviedo, to be fair, when he tried to come forward. But onto Wack's performance beforehand, because we were playing this formation, and we were playing in the way where we didn't have much creativity. As soon as we got to midfield, we didn't know what to do with it, so we'd either just pass it back to defence or hoof it. So you can almost forgive them for resorting to the sort of hoof it football because we have this supposed target man up top. Now, I'm not going to slate White too much because I don't think he's fit. And I honestly don't think he should have started. I don't believe he should have done. He's missed a huge chunk of, early season and pre-season as well. I don't think he should have started. I don't think he's 100% fit. And so, like I say, I can forgive the guys, for thinking that they can play this hoof it football. Hoof it up to the big man, he'll bring it down. The 6 or 7 aerial duels that White had, he lost every single one. Every time he got the ball, he lost it. He lost possession. I think only 1 or 2 times he did get himself on the ball. And his only real, almost positive contribution to the game was when he went off injured. Because, and I don't mean, sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't mean it's positive that he got injured. I mean, in the process to getting injured, he closed down the goalkeeper who was going to clear it. It was almost 50-50 to go for it, and they clashed. And resulting in that, White managed to get his foot on the ball, followed through, and the ball nearly went in, but it was cleared off the line. But obviously, unfortunately, he did get injured. God, I bet you're all thinking, Jesus Christ, you must hate White. No, it was just, that was the only sort of dangerous moment he had. Other than that, he looked ineffective. He looked pretty, sorry, he looked pretty goddamn awful, to be honest, in my opinion. He didn't look at it whatsoever. He seems way, way, way off the pace. But hopefully, when he does get fit, then, you know, I can see little things in him. But if you're going off yesterday's performance, it was really bad. Then the second half kicks off, and immediately in the second half, they've obviously kicked off and they've run straight through our entire team. It was an absolute embarrassment. Honeyman, Catamol stood there just watching them frigging walk past him. It was just one guy. He just walked past our entire defence and luckily managed to get it away for a corner. But that just summed us up. There was just no bite, there was no fight, there was no passion. And don't get me wrong, I'm not throwing the towel in, I'm not. It's just, the most worrying thing is those last 3 performances have got progressively worse. There hasn't been one thing that I'm thinking, you know, oh, well, we are improving in this department, or we are improving in that department. Maybe we do just need a defeat. But, you know, Catamol and Honeyman, I think they were poor. You know, I'm not going to... I know there's a lot of fanboys for Honeyman. I know there are. And there are for Cats. I've already, you know, gone through Cats a million times. I appreciate, you know, that even though he might have shown a desire to leave it over the summer, he might have done. I appreciate the professionalism that he's shown. And he is trying, but, you know, I've already said what I think about his talents and stuff like that, and how he's a little bit past it. But, you know, he can still help out in this league. We know he can help out in this league. Yesterday, he just didn't perform very well. Honeyman, I like him as a person. I like his work ethic. I like that he works very hard. He is passionate, but personally, you can't give me an attribute of Honeyman to me saying, oh yeah, he's good at that. I still can't put my finger on it. He puts a lot of effort in, but I just don't see what he offers. Personally, I really, really don't. Because him and Catamol in the middle, they were like 2 little midgets just running, chasing after a ball yesterday, and they didn't get a touch in. They didn't look great at all. I'm just struggling with them at the minute. But yeah, again, Burton kept going and kept going and kept going, and it could have been 4-0 before we brought McGeady on. And now I think for the first 5 or 10 minutes after McGeady come on, because Maguire come on as well, it seemed to lift us a little bit. Only temporarily. It lifted us temporarily, and we did get a couple of attacks in. Nothing too dangerous, I might add, but yeah, we did look a lot better. McGeady did look quite sharp with his first few touches, and it excited us a little bit, and it seemed to amp us up. But then that died out quite quickly, and Burton were just back at it again. But Maguire did get one back, and I will say hats off to him, because I've given him a little bit of stick over the last couple of reviews, because his performances have been pretty poor. And I completely understand why Jack Ross didn't start him today. I think that was rightly so. But the goal he scored today, yesterday, was absolutely brilliant. It was a cracking goal from him. I'm happy that he got the goal. But all in all, it was a shocking performance. It really was a shocking performance. Now, where do we go from here? Of course, we've got Rochdale next week. Another tough game. They look like a very sort of half-decent, organised side. So I think it's just so easy to say, like Jack Ross has been saying in the interviews, it's easier said than done than saying, you know, let's try and cut out conceding early on, stop conceding early doors. It's so much easier said than done. You know, it's not like he's setting out to concede, you know what I mean? It just happens. But of course, the lads just need to focus. There didn't seem to be a game plan yesterday, but I am just genuinely hoping that this feeling that they've got now, because they haven't felt it all season long so far, at least, even though it is still only early doors, that is what they need. They need that kick up the arse, you know. You can give up the arrogance and ignorance, thinking that you're better than everyone else in this league, which, you know, they probably don't do. But, you know, a lot of them probably, you know, once you're on an unbeaten run, you are the biggest club or with the biggest stadium in the league. If you go on this unbeaten run, you're probably going to gain that sort of bit of arrogance and kind of look down upon other teams. And I think that has been the case, really, for the last couple of games especially, thinking that regardless of how we perform, we're still going to get a point at least, which they didn't get against Burton, and we didn't deserve any points whatsoever against Burton. So hopefully they go back to the drawing drawing board. Sorry, I'm so ill, guys. They go back to the drawing board, and we managed to pick ourselves up for next week. You know, like I say, it's not the end of the world. We were always going to lose a game at some point, but I just feel like we've been on a bit of a downward spiral for the last 3 games. I think purely because of the fact we were unbeaten, it kind of hidden the fact of how bad our performances have actually been. But you know, guys, again, it's a new team, it's a new era of the club, new manager, and I think Jack Ross has done very well with what he's got at his disposal so far. So, you know, of course I still have faith in him. I still have faith in the players. I still have faith that they can improve. It's just going to be a case of being very patient with this team, because you can see that Jack Ross is experimenting game by game. We can never predict what's going to happen game by game. But what I do like about Ross is when he sees a problem during the game, he will try and change it immediately, regardless of what time it is. He's the kind of guy who will chop and change a striker in the 20th minute if he felt it was necessary. He'll do it immediately. He won't think on it and think on it and think on it and leave it until the 85th minute when it's too late. He will do it. So yeah, I massively believe in Jack Ross. I'm going to go now because I'm really, really ill, guys. I probably could have said a lot more. A lot of it probably didn't make sense, or I'm a bit too stressed because I'm not very well. But anyway, if you have enjoyed, please like the video. I really would appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sony Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.